Hello, and welcome to Polyworld. Today, we're going to be talking about a subject that is dear to our hearts.
Yes.
Which is harems.
Yes.
Harems.
Can also be referred to as leather families or tribes.
BDSM world, leather family. Yeah.
Yeah.
Tribe. Tribe is a good one. Tribe I've heard in the vanilla world as well for that. So having a harem, what is that like? Does that mean you have like one primary partner?
Well, it's another thing I just realized. I've also heard it called the poly group.
The poly group.
A poly group.
A poly group, okay.
Or polyamory group, whatever.
Uh-huh.
Pretty much, either a group that, is you're sexually involved with in some way.
Ah, yes. Sort of like your circle, your sphere of people.
That you're playing with. Or could be romantically involved with.
Right.
One or more of them. In some way.
Gotcha. So, I like that. So that's that's a harem.
Much.
That's one definition of a harem. I mean, I like that.
Yeah.
I like that. That's good. The people that I play with, there's another term I've heard for it too, which is polysingle, which means that you're not choosing to have a primary, but you're having many relationships, deep relationships with more than one person. So you're not going. Now some people. This is the problem that I run into. I'm polysingle myself, and I sense some criticism sometimes from even poly people because they're like, you really have to have one person that you're going to be primary with, and in my particular case, I'm not, and I prefer it that way, and I can go very deep with a few of the women that I see, and my experience is that they've all been very wonderful, that each relationship nurtures the others.
Yeah. Well, and then there's also some people who debate, even not necessarily even single, but if you're in a poly relationship, it has to be like, very, very, established that you and then these two other people are, poly, with each other. And it's very, I don't know, I've noticed that.
So say that again. I didn't quite get that. So
I'm trying to figure out a way of explaining it. But,
okay. You mean how you talk about your other lovers to your other lovers?
No, it's like this thing where it has to be like the three of you together.
Oh, like a triad.
Yeah.
That's like a triad or a quad.
Yeah.
Right. So.
And they have to
That would be an example. Yeah.
Yeah.
A triad is like that. Some people would say a leather family can be as small as 3 people.
This is true.
Yeah.
But, yeah. So, just to clarify, I think a leather family has more to do with BDSM.
Yeah, I would agree.
Whereas, a harem or a poly group or whatever you want to call it can just be people being sexual or romantic with each other.
Right.
I guess.
We won't kid you. I think both of us have a lean towards kink or kinky or BDSM. So there are many poly people out there that are not kinky.
Yes.
At all. They're just into having lots of lovers, which is great. What else is nice? One thing that I really, really appreciate about having a harem of people that I play with is that if something comes up for me, like let's say I get sick or I'm going through a tough time, I have an entire group of people to help support me versus just one partner who's sort of like really carrying me when I'm down or at a low spot.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Definitely. You know, it's definitely a new experience, you know, to have, you know, an entire like support system, you know.
Mm. And I've also had the where say one person in my group gets jealous about something.
Uh-huh.
I can ask the other group members to just like really love that person up,
Yeah,
to just like
support
really
them.
send them messages, call them, whatever, and just remind them because that's what happens, when you get jealous or if you get you feel abandoned or there's some situation going on. It really helps if you've got your friends calling you and telling you how much they love you.
Here's something though.
Yeah. What's that?
If you and one of the people in your harem or poly group or leather family or whatever, if you and them are having a problem, is it okay for that person to go and spread that to the rest of your harem?
That
or
is
another
a
person
good question. Because there's that line of getting support from other people, and there's an issue of like bringing a problem that might be really better handled by the two of you.
Yes.
Like if you bring it into the realm of someone else, it's almost like bringing someone into your problems.
Yeah.
And that's usually not too good in the world. But anyways, I think it's okay to talk with people about stuff you've got going on. But to try and not, like, let's say you and I are going out and we have an agreement about sleeping with somebody, and you want to change that agreement, or I want to change that agreement. It wouldn't be right to really call that person over there and bring them into that kind of a discussion.
Yeah.
It just wouldn't be. It would feel like a pulling.
Yeah. One of the great things about having a harem, well, at least in my opinion,
well, please do tell.
is, well, okay, like being able to be open with
Sorry,